The tragic death of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis police has sparked global outrage. Protests have erupted across the world, riots have occurred, and a serious discussion about institutional racism is being had. Whether or not law changes can help to remedy racism in the hearts and minds of the nations marred with a tradition of prejudice is a question that remains. There is no doubt, at least, that law changes designed to stifle racist behaviour is a systemic change that can curtail racist acts. My focus is on how technology can be used in practical ways that create justice for all citizens of society, and in this video I take a look at this and how it can be used in the future. At one point in time, it was considered a severe invasion of one's privacy to be recorded. Areas densely populated with cameras made people weary, and the lack of transparency regarding the intentions and destinations of recordings made people suspicious. This emotion, however, seems to be shifting. There's been exponential growth in the number of camera-equipped smartphones since the first camera-integrated smartphone was created in the year 2000, the J phone. The quality of these phones have also transformed dramatically for the better over time. They take clear HD quality pictures, the camera adds negligible weight to the phone, and the devices have been marketed brilliantly to consumers worldwide. An image of Steve Jobs standing on stage holding an Apple phone seems to be permanently etched in the minds of the public. All of these factors have led to a shift in the zeitgeist where people are more accepting of an abundance of cameras in public life. This provides an opportunity for the public to monitor the police instead of the one-sided affair where only the public are the ones being observed. There are also various technological changes that are occurring that allow the public to make best use of the opportunity. A company called Signal, originally founded in 2013 under the name Open Whispers, is an encrypted messaging app which ensures all of its users have free speech. Apps like these are introducing features which help combat the fight against police brutality. Signal have implemented a blurring feature which hides people's faces in photos. This is particularly useful for people involved in incidents with police. The anonymity provides safety for protesters and gives peace of mind to those that want to protest but are fearful of reprisal from the employer, landlord, and generally anyone that can impose economic hardship over them. Further to this, there are new AI modeling techniques developed to turn distorted images clear and even works when an image is entirely pixelated. This gives confidence to the civilian taking the pictures in the knowledge that the courts will be able to clear up any poorly taken pictures. This will increase the pool of credible evidence available to the courts where the police are being indicted. The hope here is that employers, landlords, etc. are not permitted by law to use this technology to clear blurred images with intentions of punishing people. With the advent of new technology on the horizon like Google Glass, we are likely to see an even further increase of portable cameras in society. The expected outcome being a transition from nations that are accustomed to the government spying on its civilians to nations which also include civilians monitoring law enforcement. This is not to be confused with a police state where the civilians would inform on their peers, but more so a society where all bad actors are recorded and held accountable, including public employees. In addition to the rise in mobile cameras, we are witnessing increases in sales of home surveillance equipment. According to Strategy Analytics, unit sales of home surveillance cameras will rise to 120 million in 2023 from 54.8 million in 2018, which is more than a doubling in 5 years. Amazon's Ring company, which sells security cameras, had a huge spike in sales in June due to the number of riots worldwide. People wanted to protect their property, and having CCTV on their premises is a good way to deter crime and gather evidence should it be needed in court. And with looming unemployment and economic hardship on the horizon, crime is likely to rise, leading to even more home surveillance equipment sales. So far, there's been a rise in mobile cameras and home cameras sales, but how about tech that doesn't have cameras? The most popular wearable tech devices are smartwatches and fitness trackers, most of which are used for health reasons, which entails monitoring the user's heart rate, tracking exercise routines, monitoring sleep, measuring blood pressure and physical strain. Tractica predicts shipment of these devices will reach 560 million by 2021. It is safe to say the wearable tech market is growing. I believe small alterations to these devices would render them an effective tool in saving lives during police interactions. Wearable tech that sounds an alarm at various stages, alerting bystanders when the user's pulse is dropping, when unconsciousness is likely, and when death is imminent will prompt observers to take action. The Bluetooth on these devices could turn on automatically in dire situations, allowing others to connect to the victim's wearable device and monitor that person's health more effectively. This isn't outside of the realm of possibility. For example, people are using the Shortcuts app on their iOS compatible devices to make recording the police easier. Simply say, "Hey Siri, I'm being pulled over," into your device, and it will turn down the music in your car, adjust your phone's brightness, send an alert to a friend or family that you're being pulled over, all whilst turning on the phone camera and recording. The same can be done by spectators observing somebody else's encounter with the police. Generally, it is legal to record the police so long as the act of recording does not jeopardize the safety of the police officers. There is scope to create technologies with the functionality to combat police crimes. On the other hand, there are various technology companies that are directly donating to Black Lives Matter and other social justice groups instead of creating new products. Amazon and Facebook pledged $10 million, Apple has announced its racial equity and justice initiative with a $100 million commitment, and Google has declared $12 million in support. Amazon states its reason for donating is because Black and African Americans are being treated brutally and inequitably by law enforcement. Now, I'm sure these donations are much welcome, even though some will argue that some companies donating do not reflect diversity within their own organizations, especially at the executive level. Regardless, technological innovation is something that should remain within these firms' psyche, as this reflects a holistic approach to solving policing brutality specifically. There is demand for any technological solution that will reduce police brutality in society and help them do their jobs better. Police officers already have the ability to use body-worn video. However, police protocol does not require an officer to turn their camera on in every scenario. In such cases, there is a need for evidence to be provided by the victim or bystanders if they want to increase the chances of justice being served. There are countless videos of police planting drugs on suspects. What if nobody were recording in those instances? Going forward, we can expect somebody to always be recording. Companies are starting to get involved in social matters in a big way. Now, whether or not they have truly altruistic intentions as opposed to profit maximization goals here is debatable. Nonetheless, if their actions lead to equality and police reform, then that's a good thing, and I'm all for it.